A hearty welcome to this class on technical writing in English. Today we are going to see in this video what is technical writing. Being literature students, this is a slightly different topic which you normally see in your studies. And now let us define what is technical writing. Did you know that you probably read or create technical communication every day without even realizing it? If you noticed signs on your way to work, checked the calories on the cereal box, emailed your professor to request a recommendation, or followed instructions to make a withdrawal from an ATM, you have been involved with technical, workplace, or professional communication. So, what? You ask? Today, writing is a more important skill for professionals than ever before. You know, the National Commission on Writing has declared that writing today is not a frill for the few, but an essential skill for the many, and goes on to state that much of what is important in our day to day life depends on strong written and oral communication skills. And a survey by the Workforce Solutions Group in a renowned college in USA asserts that many employers are concerned at the large number of college graduates applying for jobs who lack communication and interpersonal skills. So, learning to write technically is the need of the hour. And now let us move on to this technical writing definition. What is technical writing? Technical writing is the clear, organized communication of complex information, usually about a technical or specialized subject, so that the audience can understand, use, or act on it easily. For example, engineers and scientists and also other users who may be using some tools, or even if you are a mobile user, you need this type of, or you will be familiar with this type of writing, because it is the specialized form of communication used by industrial and scientific organizations to clearly and accurately convey complex information to customers, employees, assembly workers, engineers, scientists, and other users who may reference this form of content to complete a task or research a subject. Most technical writing relies on plain language, which is normally known as PL. PL is nothing but plain language, supported by easy to understand visual communication to clearly and accurately explain complex information. So, this is the basic definition of technical writing. Actually, technical writing is a labor intensive form of writing that demands accurate research of a subject and the conversion of collected information into a written format, style, and reading level the end user will easily understand or connect with. And now I'll provide you with some examples. Number one, you may be familiar with the user manuals for electronics or software. It is nothing but technical writing. And you might have seen technical reports about research findings by eminent scientists. That's also an example of technical writing. Then product specifications and data sheets. Then comes standard operating procedures. So these are all some examples of technical writing. And in addition to this, you can also term the business proposals outlining project plans and laboratory reports documenting experiments, and compliance and safety documentation also comes under this category. And it also adds instructional tutorials and step-by-step guides also fall under this category of technical writing. As you are all literature students, you may find it to be a variant style. Actually, this technical style, now let us compare this technical style versus literary style. And to begin with, the purpose The purpose of technical style aims to inform or instruct clearly. On the other hand, literary style, that is, if you are reading a poem or if you are reading a novel or if you are reading prose, it seeks to evoke emotion, explore ideas, or entertain. So, this is the difference between technical and literary style in its purpose. Now, next comes the audience. Technical texts are written for specialists or users who need precise details. But on the contrary, literary works target a broader, often general readership. And moving on to language that is employed in technical writing, you may think that it will be very simple, but the purpose of technical style is to make it simple. So it should be precise and it should be denotative. On the contrary, literary style, it is usually figurative, it can be descriptive, and it can be connotative. So you can have a varied diction and a more personal voice in the case of literature writing, but whereas technical writing you have to follow a neutral tone. And coming to structure, technical style always prefers logical, sequential, and well organized structure. On the other hand, literary style can be flexible, creative, or non linear. Because being literature students, you will be very much interested in describing your narration using the many techniques, out of which you have the stream of consciousness also. So that is the difference in structure between technical and literary style. And the next criteria is objectivity versus subjectivity. Technical style strives for objectivity. It has to present facts without any personal bias. But on the contrary, literary style embraces subjectivity. It allows the author's perspective and feelings to shape the text. So, this is one major difference between technical and literary style. And the revision goals, that is, when you are revising an article for technical writing, you have to revise by focusing on the clarity, accuracy, and consistency. But totally, for literary revisions, it is very different. Literary revisions tend to polish style, rhythm, and thematic depth. Further, in addition to all the aspects discussed so far, you have to be very specific when you are using the vocabulary for technical style. That is, you have to use only technical terms and standardized terminology. But for literary style, you can use vocabulary to describe things with rich imagery, and varied vocabulary also is allowed. And passive voice rules in technical style, whereas active voice, which is character focused, rules in literary style. And the sentence length is short and direct in case of technical style, but whereas in literary style it can be long, artistic, and rhythmic. And use of data. Technical style always uses heavy data, that is, heavy facts, figures, and evidence, whereas literary style rarely uses data. It relies on imagination and visual elements. Technical style focuses on diagrams, charts, and tables, whereas literary style is visual elements are very rare. It is mostly text-based narrative. So these are the differences between technical and literary style. And now we shall have a look into the special features of technical style. First one is clarity. Information is presented in a straightforward, unambiguous manner. It avoids figurative language, slang, and emotional expressions. It uses direct vocabulary. Then moving on to precision, it displays facts, measurements, quantities, and processes. And it avoids vague words. Moving on to objectivity, focuses on facts, evidence, and processes. It avoids subjective expressions and maintains a neutral tone. And the tone, entire tone of the technical style, it should be very, very formal. It uses professional standardized language. It avoids contractions and follows technical conventions. And Conciseness is very important for technical style. It should communicate the maximum information with minimum number of words. So this is the golden rule which I can say for technical writing. So you should be able to communicate with the maximum information with the minimum number of words. And you have to also eliminate unnecessary details. And there should be a logical organization. The ideas should be arranged in clear sequence, and you have to use the headings, lists, and diagrams for easy navigation of the readers. And consistency should be followed throughout the article. For example, you have to maintain uniform terminology, units, and formatting, and you have to follow the required style guides. And technical vocabulary uses field-specific terms and acronyms. It defines specialized terms whenever necessary. And accuracy of data and references. It uses verified data and proper citations. It ensures correctness before publication. And visual support is provided by incorporating diagrams, charts, and tables. It also includes proper labels and captions. And now, thank you for listening to this introductory part on your paper, that is technical writing. What is technical writing? So hope you might have got a very good introduction about the topic, technical writing. Thank you so much.